I've been talking with a friend about the supposed GOP. We don't really have a GOP. I hope everybody realizes that by now. We have a Uniparty. So my suggestion is that we hold the people who were voted into office accountable to the American people. They're not withholding their oath. I'm talking to you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm talking to you, Matt Gaetz. I'm talking to you, Jim Jordan. I'm talking to every GOP that is not holding Kevin McCarthy's feet to the fire regarding this debt limit. I mean, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene must be fooling around with McCarthy. They must be having like mad orgies or something, because nobody's holding McCarthy accountable for his reckless behavior. And that's why I came online when the vote for the House Speaker was happening, and I went off on Marjorie Taylor Greene because she wasn't putting up a fight, and she wasn't cutting any deals with McCarthy. So what good is an election if the people that we're electing aren't doing jack shit for America? What happens now? I say that Americans that care about their country should band together and start calling their senators, their House of Representatives, and hold them accountable or ask them to resign. What else can we do? Because there's nobody in Washington representing the American people. There might be one guy, Rand Paul, right? That's it. Out of everybody in Washington, we might have one guy. And what that looks like right now is America in free fall. The trajectory of freedom, the loss of freedom, and that border stuff with those military camps in Texas. What the fuck is going on there? Are they building a UN police force? Because you now know that they're allowing people that are crossing the border to become police officers. How do you think they're going to behave against American citizens? I don't understand anything that's happening in this country right now. And if you're not questioning it and you're not holding your representatives accountable, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to start asking these people to resign. These fake people. So apparently, Ronna Romney was given, I don't know, a budget for election integrity to like investigate elections, and she spent the money on flying privately and on booze and stuff, I think. Or was that Nancy Pelosi? I mean, they're all running together at this point. Like, all the stuff that they're doing is such a joke. It's such an egregious joke that they're running into each other. The supposed GOP and Democrats, right? Which proves that they're a Uniparty. It's outrageous. So I urge everybody to start calling, start talking, start hashtagging MTG resign, Jim Jordan resign, Matt Gaetz resign. Who else, I should have a list. I'm never prepared. I'm always like just jumping on when I have a thought. Maybe I should make a list and post it on YouTube of people that we need to ask to resign because they're not doing the job that they were voted to do. Why cannot public service people be fired? Why can't they be fired? We can be fired in the private sector. We need to hold these people accountable. Washington, D.C. is turning us around and ramming us. And you know what I'm saying. They're doing us so dirty right now. For money. For their lobbyists. They're all bought and paid for. And I'm gonna get a little bit deep right now and say that how many homes, how many purses, how many pairs of shoes, how many outfits, how many cars do you need? Are material possessions that attractive that you want to sell out your fellow Americans? Are material possessions more important than freedom? Is maintaining your lifestyle from being lobbied more important than your constituents, more important than your country? My mouth's a little dry. I was biking for like 2 hours. And I had to take my Invisalign off. The Invisalign, let me tell you something. It's hard. Invisalign is very hard. Don't let your dentist tell you that it's the easiest thing in the world, because after they sand in between your teeth, they're like, hey, do you feel bad about this decision yet? And then you have to wear them like 1,000,000 hours a day, and they're so hard to talk in, and you just become so exhausted. At any rate, I digress. We need to take these people to task. We need to ballot harvest way harder than they do this election. We have to come up with ways as we the people, as the American people, to counteract all this corruption in Washington. And I'm not even going to say in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, because they're one party. So disappointing, right? How much? When is enough for these elites? Right? Why do they need to destroy our food supply? They need to destroy like our water supply, our food supply, buy up all the houses. How much power do you need? To what end? What is the end of this game that the UN is playing? How many more houses do you need? How many more people do you need to fully enslave? Like, if you think that any of this is positive and it's for our good, you better reassess your life and your brain because it's not fully functioning. If you can twist what is happening in this world and make it into like mental gymnastic into thinking that it's positive, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say to you. But everybody needs to smarten up big time when it comes to holding people accountable. We need to do that. Because nothing that is happening in this country now is for the good of anyone. With open borders, people are sex trafficked. You know, human trafficking is at an all-time high. Children are going missing. People are getting raped and harmed. And coyotes are making tons of money. The cartels basically running our border. How can you mental gymnastic anything that's happening into something positive? There's so many suffering Americans, and meanwhile, everybody that comes over that border is getting a iPhone or a smartphone. They're getting housing, food, medical assistance. They're not being vaxxed. They're not mandating vaxes for any of them. How can you justify any of this? I just want you to start thinking. Start thinking very deeply, philosophically, intellectually about you need to put all the puzzle pieces together and realize that all these destructive policies that are currently in place are not for the betterment of society. It's not sustainable. They love to use that word, right? Sustainable. So compassionate. I've been talking about Agenda 21, 2030 for, my God, since 2014, 2015 maybe. Oh, brother, I wanted to be wrong. I really did. Unfortunately, I wasn't. So, let's hold our elected or selected senators, representatives accountable, because they're not doing what they were hired to do. Start making noise, because the quieter they are, the more you know they're bought off, and then they'll chirp a little bit to try to create some theater. Oh my God, I'm like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm gonna impeach Joe Biden. Yeah, okay, bro. Sure. Like they do a little bit, and then they step back and they're like, "See, I'm doing my job." No, you're not. You're not doing your job. So start to get mad. Get mad.